We all know this popular children's nursery rhyme, and Wentworth Woodhouse is proud to have a healthy historic mulberry bush. It is understood to be one of the oldest trees in the gardens and could have been planted over 200 years ago. Planting mulberry orchards was encouraged by King James I in the early 17th century to stimulate local production of silk. The leaves of the trees are the main source of food for silkworms. However, generally black mulberries were planted as here, whereas silkworms mainly thrive on white mulberry trees in warm climates. This ancient tree survived the ravages of the garden caused by open-cast mining after the Second World War and still produces huge quantities of glorious black fruit in late summer, making our homemade afternoon teas even more of a treat. Wentworth Woodhouse attachment to mulberries is also reflected in an area of the garden which is one of the oldest features of the original 18th century landscape. Historical records of 1738 mention a circular garden here, a quiet, secret space hidden away from the grandeur of the formal landscapes. This circular garden is one of the favorite spots of head gardener Scott. Little is known for sure about the history of this peaceful, private area. Over the years, it has been known as the Mulberry Garden and also Lady Donatia's Garden. Donatia was the third daughter of the 7th Earl Fitzwilliam, born in 1904. Like her mother, Countess Maud, she became a keen gardener. We like to think that this was her private garden. Perhaps as a child, she skipped round the circular paths, singing the popular rhyme. The garden had, however, been neglected for many years. Deep cracks down the circular wall showed that substantial repair was needed, which was enabled by grant funding. Renovation involved rebuilding the circular wall and replacing coping stones such that the repair work is virtually unnoticeable. The garden lends itself to creating a new color and planting scheme each year. As you would expect, a house as grand as Wentworth Woodhouse had huge glass houses for nurturing plants and shrubs. And during its heyday, Wentworth Woodhouse indeed boasted a massive suite of houses to showcase its collection of palms, rare orchids, and exotic fruits. Sadly, the glass houses fell into disrepair after World War II and were finally demolished in 1959. Today, Scott has to make do with a rather dilapidated glasshouse in a hidden courtyard until investment funds can be found to rebuild a modern facility of the scale Wentworth Woodhouse deserves. The rejuvenation of this secret garden is almost complete. The Victorian-edged gray circular paths need attention, and the mulberry gardens need to connect to the rest of the garden. Replacing the muddy paths throughout the garden has been a huge spring project involving excavating, barrowing, and shoveling. Over 29 tons of pink shale have been spread, creating safe, accessible paths throughout the gardens.
So this is the last piece of hard standing, pathwise, that we have to cover in the fire chip. This traditionally would have been the red brick chippings. And as you can see, with an army of volunteers, this is a morning's work. We've moved all the rather cumbersome, not foot-friendly pea gravel, which looks nice but isn't good to walk on, push wheelchairs or buggies or prams. So sadly, we're going to have to barrow all the chipping back in because there's no easy way of getting it in with such a small space. So once it's down, it compacts itself, and I think it'll do for the next however many years.
Hello, my name's Alan. I'm a member of the Tuesday gardening group, the Wellywangers. Been a gardener here for around about 4 years now. This weekend we had an SOS call out from our head gardener Scott. He'd acquired a digger for the day, a volunteer donation of a digger for a day, which meant that really we had to get this job done today. Moving all the red shale, we really do need a digger for that. So Scott's been moving the shale from our little dumping ground by the stable. He's been bringing it down, and the rest of the Tuesday and in some of the Wednesday gang have been moving it, raking it in to make this mulberry garden look extra special. It was special beforehand, but we've removed the pea gravel now, and now we're just raking in about an inch and a half, 2 inches of the red shale. Remember the paths were red in the original house, and now hopefully we're returning the mulberry garden to its former red glory.
Come and enjoy the vibrant colors of this year's flowers. Whether you're seeking a sunny spot or a place for quiet contemplation, you are sure to find it here in the delightful Mulberry Garden. And who knows what spectacular display you'll find there next year.